One thing you can make with materials in our collage center is a silhouette portrait. This is a family heirloom that's been in my family for a long time, and I want to show you how you can make something similar. This is my sped up clip of just how to draw the basic shape of a silhouette. This isn't of anyone in particular. This is just a silhouette from my imagination. And I'm showing how you can go around the contours. Obviously this is sped up. You would want to take your time and really get in all those details and cut as carefully as you can. So that's the general project. But now let's go in depth a little bit more. This is my friend Catherine, and she's got a great profile, so we're going to use hers to sort of break it down into shapes. So if I'm looking at Catherine's profile, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out the circle portion of her head. So our skull has a big dome, a cranium, and it has a jaw that's kind of on top of and in front of that. So I'm starting with just a circle outlining Catherine's head and her cranium. And now I'm just going to make a box in the front of that. Now obviously her profile is not just a circle and a box, but breaking it down into these simple shapes helps to give me a starting point. So now we're going to zoom in a little bit and we're going to look at some of these details. So where the box meets the circle, there's going to be a diagonal line, and that is Catherine's nose. I'm not going to worry about all the little shapes. I'm just going to worry about getting the broad outline. So hers is going to look kind of like a beak right now, but we generally get that most noses are some variation on the triangle shape. The chin is kind of rounded, so is the eyebrow line. Not every forehead's going to be exactly this way, not every profile is going to be exactly this way, but this is a good place to start. Okay, so I am using the shapes that I broke down in Catherine's sketch to sort of make my own just from memory now. This isn't necessarily going to look like Catherine, that was just our starting point. This is going to be an imaginary profile using those basic shapes that we got from hers. Alright, so got that diagonal line. I'm going to pinch it in a little bit where the chin and the nose go in. And then I sort of made a mound that I'm going to flesh out to be two lips, a top and a bottom. I'm going to make that nose come forward just a little bit because I think that's interesting. Let me make that eyebrow line a little more distinct. And again, this is not by any means what every profile looks like. Every profile is completely different, but they do all have some basic shapes in common, and so that's what I'm trying to show you. Make that chin a little bit smaller. And because I'm not trying to make Catherine, I'm just going to make some goofy hair, and we can show some examples of how to cut this out in just a little bit. So I'm going to erase those details that I don't need. Okay, and with most silhouette cutting portraits, you don't want to show the whole body, so it usually just kind of ends in a triangular shape underneath the jawline, or underneath the collarbone. Alright, so I sped this up, and I'm just going to cut out. As you can see, sometimes you don't want to completely follow the line. Sometimes you want to cut off a portion and then come back to it later. For example, these three little whiffs of hair, that looks stressful. I'm going to come back to it later. I'm not even going to worry about it. Alright, very carefully going around all those shapes. Again, you want to take your time and go slowly, don't rush. It's not a race. Obviously my video is sped up. Okay, now I'm going to go back and knock out that stressful little piece of hair. There we go. Alright, and now I have flipped it over. And I'm noticing some things I want to change. Since this is just an imaginary silhouette, I'm going to make those lips just a little bit more rounded. There we go. I'm going to make that eyebrow line a little bit more rounded. Same with the chin. We're just going to round everything. That kind of makes the person look a little bit younger, a little less severe. Just playing with it, adding some details. I'm going to put a little whiff of hair in the back too, because I think that's interesting. Alright, I'm happy with that. Now we're going to put some glue on the back. Flip it around, smooth it down, and ta-da! That, in a nutshell, is how you can get started making your silhouette portraits.